I'm constantly hearing the same complaint from gamers and creators alike. You see a monster high refresh rate, OLED screen on a product page, and you picture buttery smooth gameplay or flawless color grading, only to get a display that looks muted, has strange input lag, or simply doesn't fit your desk. That mismatch between hype and reality is why I'm taking a deep dive into the ASUS ROG Strix OLED XG27ACDNG before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the environment this screen is meant for. It's a 26.5-inch panel, the kind of size that sits comfortably on a typical gaming desk without crowding your peripherals. The QD-OLED technology promises true blacks and vibrant colors, which is a massive step up from the VA panels you usually see at this price point. In my own setup, I paired the monitor with a high-end RTX 4090 and a mechanical keyboard, using a dual-monitor rig for streaming. The OLED panel delivered the punch I needed for both fast-paced shooters and color-critical video editing, but it's not a universal win for everyone. Who should consider this unit? If you spend at least a few hours a day in fast refresh titles like Call of Duty, Valorant, or Cyberpunk, the 360Hz refresh rate combined with FreeSync Premium Pro can shave off that last frame of input latency you feel in competitive play. Likewise, if you're a video editor or photographer who values deep blacks and a wide color gamut for color grading, the QD-OLED Matrix gives you a reference that rivals a small format TV. The USB-C port is also a nice touch for laptops that support DisplayPort over USB-C, letting you run a single cable for video, audio, and power. Who should walk away? If your primary use case is office work, casual browsing, or streaming movies at 1080p, the premium price of this monitor might be overkill. The OLED panel, while gorgeous, is also more susceptible to static image retention if you leave UI elements like a HUD or taskbar static for long periods. I've read enough reports of ghosting on OLED monitors used as desktop workstations, and while ASUS includes a pixel shift feature, it's still a consideration for anyone who leaves the same layout up for 8+ hours daily. Additionally, the 26.5-inch size, while perfect for a close-quarters desk, can feel cramped for designers who need a larger canvas for multi-window workflows. Now, let's break down the real-world performance. When I launched a 1440p 360Hz match of Apex Legends, the motion clarity was immediate. The combination of a 0.1 milliseconds response time and the OLED's instant pixel transition meant there was essentially no blur on fast pans. The only time I noticed a drawback was when I switched to a high-contrast UI in a strategy game. The OLED's perfect black level made the bright UI elements pop, but the contrast swing was so extreme that it felt a little harsh on my eyes after an hour. A simple tweak to the monitor's comfort mode dialed it back to a more comfortable level without sacrificing the visual punch. In terms of color accuracy, I ran a quick calibration using a Spider X, and the out-of-the-box values were already close to the sRGB standard, which is impressive for a gaming monitor. When I switched to Adobe RGB for photo editing, the panel's quantum dot layer delivered a wider gamut, but the peak brightness capped around 400 nits. That's fine for a dimly lit studio, but if you're working in a bright room, you might find the display a touch underexposed compared to a high-end IPS panel that can push 600+ nits. It's a trade-off. You get deeper blacks at the expense of raw luminance. One of the hidden trade-offs I discovered is the speaker situation. The XG27ACDNG ships without built-in speakers, which is common for high-performance gaming monitors, but it means you need an external solution for audio. If you already own a headset, that's no problem, but if you're looking for an all-in-one desktop solution, you'll have to budget for a set of monitor-sized speakers or a soundbar. Connectivity is where ASUS really shines. Besides the obvious DisplayPort 1.4, there's a full-featured USB-C that carries DisplayPort Alt Mode and 65W power delivery. I plugged my Dell XPS laptop directly into the monitor, and it instantly recognized the display at 1440p 144Hz, perfect for when I'm on the move and need a quick workstation. The monitor also includes a USB hub with 2 downstream ports, so I could connect my mouse and a USB flash drive without reaching for the back of the PC. The ergonomics are solid, too. The stand offers height, swivel, tilt, and pivot, which allowed me to align the screen perfectly with my eye level, a small but crucial factor for long gaming sessions. A practical downside that isn't always advertised is the power consumption. OLED panels draw more power when displaying bright scenes, and the 260W rating on the power supply means you'll see a noticeable increase in your electricity bill if you run the monitor at high brightness for many hours. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to keep in